Have you ever watched your whole world burn down from the inside of a lie? The glow of my wife's phone at 2 a.m. was the match. Her screen a window into a life I was never meant to see. A name I didn't recognize, a heart emoji that wasn't for me, and a whispered plan for a future that didn't include me. I saw the message, a simple, gut-wrenching, "Can't wait to have you all to myself," away from him. I was him, in our bed, in our home, on the north side of Chicago. I became a ghost. The worst part wasn't the betrayal itself, but the chilling realization that the woman sleeping beside me was a complete stranger, and I had to keep pretending I didn't know her darkest secret. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. For 10 years, Jessica was my everything. We built a life in a brownstone in Lincoln Park, a picture-perfect existence funded by my software company and her burgeoning career in corporate law. I was the loyal, steady husband, the one who remembered her favorite wine and the way she liked her coffee. I thought we were a team, an unbreakable unit. But slowly, the foundation began to crack. It started with the late nights at the office, the client dinners that stretched into the early morning. I'd wait up, the food I'd cooked growing cold on the counter, only to be met with a breezy, "Oh, sorry, I lost track of time." She started guarding her phone like it was a state secret, angling the screen away whenever I walked into the room. The scent of a man's cologne, one I didn't wear, clung to her coat one evening. When I asked, she just laughed it off. "Oh, that's just Mark from the office. He's a little heavy-handed with the cologne." Mark, the name from the phone screen? He was a partner at her firm, a man she described as a mentor, but whose smug smile in her company photos always made my skin crawl. She became cold, distant. My touch, once welcomed, now made her flinch. She'd look at me not with love, but with a mixture of pity and annoyance, as if my very presence was an inconvenience. They felt untouchable, wrapped in the arrogance of their secret affair, laughing at the fool she came home to every night. One night I found a receipt for a room at the Thompson Hotel in the Gold Coast. Dated for an afternoon, she was supposedly in a deposition. I drove there, my hands shaking on the steering wheel, and sat in my car across the street. I watched them walk out, hand in hand, Jessica's head thrown back in laughter at something he said. That was the moment I broke. The grief was a physical force, a wave that knocked the air from my lungs. I sat in that car for an hour, the city lights blurring through my tears, and something inside me shifted. The hurt didn't disappear, but it crystallized into something cold, hard, and sharp. My sadness burned away, leaving behind a quiet, calculating rage. The game was on. I just had to write the rules. My revenge wouldn't be a single act of anger. It would be a slow, meticulous dismantling of the world she'd built on my trust. I hired the best private investigator in Chicago, a former cop with eyes that missed nothing. He documented everything: the hotel stays, the secret dinners at Gibson's bar and steakhouse, the weekend trips she claimed were work retreats. While he gathered the evidence, I played the part of the oblivious, loving husband. Listened to her lies with a patient smile, all the while setting my traps. I started moving my assets, creating new accounts, and legally protecting the company I had built from the ground up. I consulted with a divorce attorney, a shark named Sarah Jennings, who specialized in high-conflict, high-asset cases. Together, we planned the final act. The stage was our annual Christmas party, the highlight of our social calendar. Our home was filled with friends, family, and Jessica's colleagues, including the unsuspecting Mark. Jessica was radiant, the perfect hostess, oblivious to the storm about to break. At the height of the party, I tapped a glass for a toast. Jessica beamed, thinking it was a tribute to her. But then, a woman she didn't recognize stepped forward. It was Sarah Jennings, my lawyer, holding a thick manila envelope. "Jessica," Sarah said, her voice cutting through the festive music, "you've been served." The silence was absolute. Jessica's smile froze, then crumbled. She snatched the envelope, her hands trembling as she tore it open. Inside were the divorce papers, along with glossy 8x10 photos of her and Mark, leaving the hotel, kissing in his car, their secret life laid bare for all to see. She looked up, her eyes wide with horror, and met mine. There was no love there, no pity, just the cold, hard satisfaction of a man who had taken back his life. She nearly collapsed, her face as white as the snow falling outside. His world was imploding right alongside Jessica's. The party emptied out in a wave of shocked whispers. Jessica was left standing alone in the middle of our living room, the ruins of her life scattered at her feet. Lost everything: her husband, her reputation, and after the details of her affair were made public in the divorce proceedings, her job. The last time I saw her, she was a shadow of the woman she once was, her arrogance replaced by a hollow emptiness. I sold the house, moved out of the city, and left that life behind. Sometimes, in the quiet of the night, I think about that final, devastating moment. I don't feel joy, only the cold, quiet peace of a war that is finally over.